Loud.
Uhuru. I am Kabula Mutombo. I'm a member of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, or InPDUM for short. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm part of the International Office of Membership and Recruitment. Chicago has a great history of being at the heart of the revolution. The Black Panther Party had a strong chapter in Chicago. Fred Hampton, one of the most dynamic African leaders, was assassinated on December 4th, 1969, by the Chicago Police Department and FBI. Emmett Till was born in Chicago. He was lynched in the South, and the African press publicized his photo, and that helped publicize and gain widespread support and helped spark the movement then. InPDUM in Chicago, InPDUM had its first convention in Chicago in 1991. The original president was Fred Hampton's widow, Akua Njeri, the mother of Fred Hampton Jr., where he was brought into political life. In 2016, we held the Africans Charged Genocide Winter Encampment Tour that put genocide on the agenda of the United Nations. This was held at Chicago State University. We've had membership and recruitment victories this year. InPDUM is growing everywhere throughout 4 regions in the United States, on the continent of Africa, especially in South Africa, or what its real name is, occupied Azania, and in Ghana and throughout the world. We're building branches and opening offices. Up next is Comrade Tiana with This Flag of Man by Amy Jacquez Garvey. Uhuru.
Uhuru. My name is Tiana Africa, and I'm a proud member of InPDUM. I have here with me my son, who will introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Zakir, and I'm 7 years old, and I'm a proud member of InPDUM.
Okay, together we will be reciting to you This Flag of Mine. Feel free to recite along with us. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless of what is told of it.
Regardless of what is told.
Here's to this flag of mine.
Here's to this flag.
The red, black, and green.
The red, black, and green.
Hopes in its future bright.
Hopes in its future bright.
Africa has seen.
Africa has seen.
Here's to the red of it.
Here's to the red of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
In time to come.
In time to come.
Red blood shall flow of it.
Red blood shall flow of it.
Historians shall write of it.
Historians shall write of it.
Great flag of mine.
Great flag of mine.
Here's to the black of it.
Here's to the black of it.
400 million's back of it.
400 million's back of it.
Whose destiny depends on it.
Whose destiny depends on it.
The red, black, and green of it.
The red, black, and green of it.
Oh, flag of mine.
Oh, flag of mine.
Here's to the green of it.
Here's to the green of it.
Young men shall dream of it.
Young men shall dream of it.
Face shot and shells of it.
Face shot of shells of it.
Waving so high.
Waving so high.
Here's to the whole of it.
Here's to the whole of it.
Colors, grot, and pole of it.
Colors, grot, and pole of it.
Pleased is my soul with it.
Pleased is my soul with it.
Regardless of what is told of it.
Regardless of what is told.
Thanks God for giving it.
Thanks God for giving it.
Great flag of mine.
Great flag of mine.
Thank you. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. My name is Mwambi Tangu, and I'm going to go ahead and do the announcements. today. Later on today, May 17th, we're gonna have at 5:30 p.m. Central and 6:30 p.m. Eastern, an interview with business educator, author Samora O. Sabukwe. After the Sunday rally today, APDEP, the All African Peoples Development and Empowerment Project, is Marcus Garvey Youth Program Subcommittee conducts an interview with one of our favorite educators, Samora Sabukwe. On Tuesday, May 19th at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Reparations in Action weekly radio show. This is a weekly discussion hosted by the African People's Solidarity Committee in its mass organization, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Organizations of the African People's Socialist Party created with the task to bring reparations from the white world back into the hands of the African people. On the same day, Tuesday, at 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Revolutionary Birthday for Malcolm X and Ho Chi Minh. This is a mass meeting of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement to be held via Zoom. We celebrate the revolutionary lives of Malcolm X and Ho Chi Minh, both born on May 19th, and call on the people to participate in the Birthdays Reparations fundraising campaign to support the Black Power Blueprint. On Saturday, May 23rd, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, on May 23rd to the 24th on Sunday, we have Up Ye Mighty Africans. This is the 2020 African Liberation Day Conference. If you've never been to an African Liberation Day celebration in Washington, D.C., now's a time where everybody from the world can view the African Liberation Day, because it's not going to be on the ground in Washington, D.C., but it's going to actually be via a webinar. So join us to be a part of this dynamic conference. We're going to have amazing presentations by leaders. We're going to have cultural presentations. We're going to have African people with political, social, and economic presentations about power and liberation. Next Sunday, May 24th at 8 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have Omali Taught Me. This is a weekly political study that we do. And lastly, on June 7th at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern, we have Harriet's Daughter Study Group and Book Club. The Harriet Daughter Book Club will continue discussing Black Panther Party leader Elaine Brown's book, A Taste of Power. The study will not be live on Facebook. If you'd like to participate, you need to register via Zoom, and this is a women's only book club. Next, I want to pass it over to our comrade out of Philadelphia with our cultural today, Jamaini Gray, Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrades, Uhuru, comrades. So I do outreach in Philadelphia. My name is Jamane, and I'm also a performer. So I'm gonna be performing a song basically for y'all, and I hope you guys like it. It's called One Day Different. So here we go. And if y'all want to, y'all can tag along, raise your hands up like this, and we can rock out. So here we are, revolution. Father, my generation is dying. Yeah, we clueless. I'm trying to save myself from this careless music. Frequency so good, make me want to move it. Don't you move your body to that beat. Yeah, that whine so slow and it sounds so sweet. Mumble rap that will turn your girl to a freak. My people so sleep, fell in love with the melodies of the lost ones. Generation fast, homo quickly making time come. But I already make my sound come. Your time is now, your faith is here. Be ready for the next one. You got the torch now, you gotta give it to the young ones. Now go and get that victory and bring it to the highest one. We'll open up our minds. We'll honor those who came before us one day. We'll open up our eyes before us. My people are dying, my people are crying. They taking our children, we missing the warning. We used to tell the baby, hush, now we can't hear a sound. Police brutality, the dad can't even be around. We missing the key facts to why blacks can't rise. We don't pray anymore, and there are no blue skies. They taking our homes and raising them high. They taking our homes, people selling dope and getting high. My people selling dope and getting high. And there are no prayers sent to the sky. We gotta take action and rise and rise. We'll open up our minds. We'll honor those who came before us one day. We'll open up our eyes before us. Sometimes I sit and cry. How many people ever gonna get to touch Allah? I mean, he's here, but lately people been seeing cop. People been worshiping people raising rod. Y'all need to raise yourself. And people continuously ask for help when God never left. He really in your soul. He's even in the Milky Way. He's even in the gold. But we attract the glitter, that meat to snatch your soul. To snatch your soul. That meat to snatch your soul. Before us one day. Yeah, thank you, comrades.
Uhuru. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much, comrade. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I definitely want to, that was Jemini Gray out in Philadelphia, one of our new comrades in InPDUM. We want to thank you for that amazing cultural performance. Uhuru, and I wanted to say thank you to Kabula Mutumbu out in Chicago. We really appreciate you, comrade. Thank you for the welcome. We want to say thank you to Tiana Africa out here in San Diego, California. We want to thank you and our new comrade Zakir. It's always good and amazing to see the children being involved in the movement. So we really want to thank you, comrades. We want to thank Jemini, for tearing it down with that culture. And comrades, that's what InPDUM is about. That's what InPDUM is about, is bringing all of the African working class into the revolution, that all of us have a place in this struggle. And so I just really appreciate, comrades from all over the place just coming in and being a part of this Sunday rally. Next, I just wanted to really appreciate our leadership, the leadership of InPDUM, the leadership of the Uhuru movement, our chairman, Omali Yeshitela. Chairman Omali has, just been on the forefront of the African revolution, since the 60s. And so we just want to salute Chairman Omali, the founder of the Uhuru movement. This is such a powerful movement. And so we really want to thank Omali for, really giving us this platform so that we can express ourselves in this revolution. I want to thank Secretary General Luwezi Kinshasa, the Secretary General of the African Socialist International, for forging this revolution, forging the Uhuru movement around the world. We see so much growth in Africa. We see growth happening in Europe. We see growth happening, in places like, the Middle East, the Caribbean, Central America, South America. And, we just really want to salute you, Secretary General, for, all the leadership that you're providing for us. And we definitely want to salute the president of InPDUM, Kalambai and Annette. As we say in the movement, out of the ashes of Ferguson, a revolutionary was born. And, the work that Kalambai has done, and, the whole IEC, has just been so amazing to bring InPDUM to this level where we're, a mass organization, bringing African people in all over the world. I want to thank the whole National Central Committee. I want to thank Dr. Aisha Fields, APDEP, and Black Ankh during this COVID-19 crisis, really providing leadership to the African community, leadership that has been felt and the impact has been felt around the world. So we really want to thank you, Dr. Aisha Fields. And last, I just want to give you an overview of what I'm going to talk about. We're going to be talking about Malcolm X and his legacy. We're going to talk about how he changed the world. You know, Malcolm X was our brother. You know, not only was he our brother, but he was our leader. And his message was for us, the African working class. And, you know, the Uhuru movement and InPDUM really has been able to understand Malcolm X as an African internationalist and you know, utilize what Malcolm X was teaching us to build the African revolution as he intended. You know, after he passed, after he was assassinated, brutally murdered, you know, we still carry forward Malcolm X's legacy through the Uhuru movement. We're going to talk also about just the Office of International Membership and Recruitment as a dynamic force of the International Executive Committee. Shout out to the International Executive Committee, my comrades, you know, really forward in the African Revolution. It's just so powerful, the work that, you know, the International Executive Committee of InPDUM has been doing. You know, we got our comrade Dexter out in Boston. We got Fofi out in St. Louis. We got Matsamela here in San Diego. Marissa out in Seattle. You know, I'm hoping I ain't forgetting nobody, but you know, it's powerful. The IEC is such a dynamic body within the Uhuru movement. And so I really want to give y'all a shout out. And then last, we're gonna talk about goals. Goals. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, InPDUM has been blasting off, has been growing, has been doing so much dynamic work. And, you know, we really want to bring science to this process. And we really want to, you know, let people know that scientifically we're growing. We're growing at such an amazing, rapid rate. And it's something that's important for all Africans to understand. It's something important for the whole world to understand, because right now Africans are looking for leadership. Africans are looking for organization. And, you know, all Africans have to know that InPDUM is here. There is a revolutionary frontline that is ready. You know what I'm saying? We have the leadership, we have the science, and we have the practice. Most importantly, we have a track record of practice that has been showing you that what we say, we do. So the first thing that I want to get into around the legacy of Malcolm X is to talk about Malcolm X as the people's champ. You know, something about Malcolm X that is extremely important to understand is, you know, Malcolm was here for the people. Malcolm was here for the people. He came from the people. He came from the African working class. Really, he came from the lumpen proletariat, which basically means that, you know, he was a street cat. You know, most people who've seen Malcolm X's movies, who read the autobiography, have heard of him. You know, we understand him. Before he was Malcolm X, he was Detroit Red. You know, he was out in the streets hustling and making moves and, you know, getting locked up for, you know, really the conditions that we find ourselves in as African people. And so what Malcolm went through before he, you know, became Malcolm X, before he became a powerful leader, you know, is the same experience that most brothers in the streets and most sisters in the streets go through. You know, and that's one of the reasons why we appreciate and why we honor Malcolm X and why we have a membership level that is named after Malcolm X, is because, you know, we identify with Detroit Red. You know, or if we don't identify with Detroit Red, we have family members, we have friends, we have different people who identify with that. So what I wanted to do is, you know, talk about Malcolm X as a people's champ. And so what I'm going to do right now is read something that the chairman wrote. And this is, I'll just go ahead and read it. This is from the Burning Spear in 2011. It says, the following is a brilliant presentation made by Chairman Omali Yeshitela at May 19th, 1977, Malcolm X commemorative held in Tampa, Florida. Chairman Omali's words are true now, in 2011, as they were in 1977. Malcolm's words are as true now as they were in 1963. Click on the, let's see, here we go. Okay, it says, Malcolm X was a great African patriot, a freedom fighter. Some of us here, because we believe and understand this, others of us do not believe in the greatness of Malcolm X and his teachings, and are only here as political ambulance chasers going where the action is, and opportunistically exploiting his greatness to push forward teachings which are contrary to what Malcolm X believed in and taught. But you and I know that Malcolm X was either a great leader or he was not. He was not a great leader and teacher, or a great leader and teacher, except for. He was either a great leader or he was not. I say he was a great leader, and his teaching should be continuously studied and developed as a guide for our struggle. And I challenge everybody here today to go beyond paying lip service to his memory. I challenge everyone here to be the human being that Malcolm X was, and to take up his philosophy and to live for struggle as he lived for struggle. And what were some of the things Malcolm X taught and believed? Malcolm X taught and believed we as African people are not Americans. In a speech in Cleveland on April 3rd, 1964, he made this very clear. In this speech, Malcolm X stated, "I'm not a politician, not even a student of politics. In fact, I'm not a student of much of anything. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, and I don't even consider myself an American. If you and I were Americans, then there'd be no problem. Those honkies just got off the boat. They're already Americans. Polacks are already Americans. The Italian refugees are already Americans. Everything that came out of Europe, every blue-eyed thing is already an American. And as long as you and I have been here, we aren't Americans yet." That is what Malcolm taught. That is what Malcolm believed. But most of us, or at least many of us, don't believe this. Most of us are so busy being Americans that we excuse every unjust act that this country perpetuates against our own people and against the oppressed peoples of the world. So for those of you who are Americans, it should be clear that you don't believe in what Malcolm believed or taught. And to the extent that you are here today because you thought you did or wanted to pretend to, I want to make you aware of this, of what is correct and what is that you are pretending to be. Uhuru. I'm going to go ahead and read one more excerpt. "No, I am not an American. I'm one of the 22 Black people who are the victims of Americanism. One of the 22 million Black people who are the victims of democracy. Nothing but disguised hypocrisy. So I'm not standing here speaking to you as an American or a patriot or a flag saluter or a flag waver. No, I am not. I am speaking as a victim of this American system. And I see through America. I see through the eyes of the victims of America. I don't see any American dream. I see an American nightmare." Uhuru. Now, it's so important to understand that Malcolm is here for the people. You know, Malcolm understands himself as an African. You know, Malcolm understands that Black people in America are not Americans, but Black people are Africans. You know, and this message is for the people. This message is from the people. And this message is an African working class message. And so that is why InPDUM carries the legacy of Malcolm X. That is why the African People's Socialist Party carries the legacy of Malcolm X. That is why the entire Uhuru movement carries the legacy of Malcolm X, because we understand that Malcolm X knew that he is not an American in the same way any African from Jamaica, any African from Haiti, from Brazil. Today in Chairman O'Malley's study, O'Malley taught me there's Africans from Nicaragua. There was Africans from Spain. You know, there's Africans from all over the world, because we all understand that we're all Africans. We're all Africans. And Malcolm carried this message to the world, which brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about, that Malcolm, above many other people, and why we salute him, is because Malcolm was a world humanitarian. He understood that you know, and I don't mean that in the corny sense. I don't mean that in the sense that, you know, we are the world, AFRICOM, you know, everybody come together and hug. I mean that in the sense that Malcolm understood that the colonized people of the world are all oppressed, that we all have the same enemy of white power, that we all have the same enemy of colonialism, that all have the same enemy of parasitic capitalism. So Malcolm took his message that he understood in Detroit, that he understood in the streets of Chicago, in the streets of Harlem, and took that around the world. Took it around the world. And so he was able to meet with revolutionaries from around the world. He was able to meet with world leaders around the world. He was able to take this message of African liberation, you know, from the ghettos of the United States to the United Nations. You see what I'm saying? And so that's another reason why we honor Malcolm X. And that, again, is why, you know, in all of the work that the Uhuru movement does, and understand that the presentation I'm reading from is written and delivered by Chairman Omali Yeshitela, you know, who came from that time period, who came from the 60s and the 70s, and was able to help us understand this at this current juncture. So I wanted to talk about Malcolm X as a humanitarian, what I call it, but really he was a internationalist is a better word for it. He was an African internationalist, global revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Because that, you know, if I use that word humanitarian too much, it kind of gets the message misconstrued. But I want to talk about something very specific and how Malcolm X was able to meet with Fidel Castro. And it's important to understand that Malcolm X met with Fidel Castro. This was in 1960 in September. It was in Harlem at the Teresa Hotel. And the reason why it's important to understand that Malcolm X met with Fidel Castro is to understand that Malcolm X understood socialism. Malcolm X understood communism. He understood that legacy. So he was able to meet with Fidel Castro. And give me a second, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the dialogue on this to share with y'all. Uhuru. In September of 1960, the African liberation movement was in high gear, asserting its independent and revolutionary trajectory. The meeting between Cuba's new revolutionary leader, Fidel Castro. Now, remember, the Cubans had their revolution and seized power in 1958, right? 1958. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I'm thinking, I'm like, was it previous before that? But if it wasn't 1958, then it was 48. But basically within that time period, I actually think it was 48. But basically within that time period of Fidel taking power, in that short time, he met with Malcolm X, which really, really speaks to, you know, the global importance of understanding the Black liberation movement that was happening in the United States. You know, that the African liberation movement that was being connected around the world. You know, Malcolm X was looked at around the world as a leader, you know, of the African people here in the United States. But at the same time, there was an African revolution going on around the world. So there was Kwame Nkrumah out in the colonial territories of, at the time, was called the Gold Coast. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there was gold there, so the white people called it the Gold Coast. But you had just so many revolutionary leaders around the world. And so when Malcolm X was able to meet with Fidel Castro, it really helped, you know, to us understand and validate also in many other things as well. our position in this global revolution. And that can't be underestimated. I'm gonna continue reading. It says, the meeting between Fidel Castro, Cuba's new revolutionary leader, was in New York for a United Nations General Assembly meeting. And Malcolm X was an indication of the development of the Black Revolutionary Movement. During the same General Assembly session, Malcolm also met with Guinea's Conraki, I must have been the name before that. That's probably some white man's name. Conraki. Guinea's new leader, Sekou Touré, Egypt's Abdel Nasser, and Kenneth Kaunda, who would later become Zambia's first post-colonial president. As a show of solidarity with the African liberation movement in the United States, Comandante Fidel Castro and the Cuban entourage stayed at the Teresa Hotel in Harlem. Now, I think it's extremely important to understand how important Malcolm X was on a global level. And, that's why I wanted to talk about him as a humanitarian, as an internationalist, better than saying a humanitarian. But I really wanted to talk to him as an internationalist so that we just understand that, Africans, we're attached to the global struggle of the world. We're attached to what's going on around the world. And it's important for us to be able to make those connections with Africans in South Africa, with Africans in Cuba, Africans in Brazil, Africans in Canada, Africans in London, that all of us break down these colonial borders, break down these colonial territories, and really understand ourselves, as part of 1.5 billion Africans. 1.5 billion. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about Malcolm X as a disciplined leader. And I think it's important to talk about Malcolm as a disciplined leader because, that's one of the things about the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement and the African People's Socialist Party is that, we're a movement that focuses on discipline. We're a movement that focuses on, African people, being able to understand, the global legacy that we have beyond 600 years of, imperialism, beyond 600 years of enslavement. So, I think it's important for us to understand the discipline that Malcolm had, because his discipline, really was, really characterized him as an international leader. You know what I'm saying? When you look at how focused on the revolution Malcolm was, how focused on, organizing Africans around the world he was. And that's why, he was able to, go from city to city, go from, colonial territory to colonial territory, because he was disciplined in his mind. He was disciplined in his actions. He was disciplined in his movements. And so as a lot of us know, Malcolm X, he went from Detroit Red, when he was really in the streets, hustling and just really doing dirt. He went from, then he went to becoming Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Becoming one of the main leaders in the Nation of Islam, and then after being a part of the Nation of Islam, he became a leader, of what he didn't see, that there was any movements or any organizations that were attaching Africans from the United States to Africans around the world. So what did he do? He began an organization. And so I'm going to go ahead and read about that briefly. Malcolm X returned to New York City to form the Organization for Afro-American Unity. Malcolm had a new perspective when it came to politics and the struggle for freedom. He no longer mixed religious and moral teachings with his political message to Africans. Instead, focusing on self-determination, Malcolm was still a Muslim and led the Muslim Mosque Incorporated separately from OAAU. Malcolm explained this by saying, "We don't mix our religion with our politics or our economics and social and civil activities, not anymore. We become involved with anybody, anywhere, anytime, and in any manner that's designed to eliminate the evils, the political, economic, and social evils that are inflicted on the people in our community." And, Malcolm X dealt with death threats. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X was, he was assassinated. He was assassinated on February 21st in 1965 because of his stance, because of his understanding of who he was as a political leader. And he knew that he had to continue to do the work. He knew that he had to continue to forge the African Revolution despite his despite his spiritual understanding, despite his religious affiliations. He knew that that Africans were Christians, that Africans were Muslims, that Africans practice Ifa, Africans practice so many different things, so we could not be limited by a spiritual or religious perspective. So, we understand that Malcolm was a spiritual leader. We understand, that in his though he was a spiritual leader and though he still led a mosque, that he created a political organization because he knew that we needed to get politically free. We needed to get economically free. We needed to get socially free. So we want to really lift up his legacy, for doing that for the people. And just, really, I wanted to share that, the information, the articles, that I got this information from is the Burning Spear, the newspaper that has been on the ground in the African world since 1968, that was established and created by, by the Uhuru movement, even before the African People's Socialist Party, but established by Chairman Amalia Shatella. So we just, make sure you check out the Burning Spear, so that you can have access to these dynamic articles. And so again, I just wanted to say, thank you to Malcolm, you know what I'm saying, for really forging the African Revolution, at a time when there is so many sellouts, so many people compromising, so many people just even had the wrong understanding. You know what I mean? People were fighting hard, but they just didn't have the correct understanding. So we want to salute Malcolm X and his legacy in that right. The next thing that we wanted to do, okay, let me go ahead and hook this up. Because the next thing that we wanted to do was talk about the International Office of Membership and Recruitment. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. And so I wanted to let everybody know that this, this is a Sunday rally. We do this every Sunday with InPDUM. Most of the times when we do, because of the coronavirus, we're doing it online, you know what I'm saying, which is great. Most of the times we have our Sunday rallies locally. We have them in, we've had them very consistently in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have them in St. Louis, Missouri. And now the goal is to kick it up a few notches and start having these Sunday rallies all over the place. And that's why, we're bringing everybody into this process together. You know what I'm saying? So, we can, as an international organization, we can work together. As you've seen, there's comrades from Chicago, there's comrades from St. Louis, there's comrades from San Diego, from all over the place. And, we want to bring everybody in that process. And if you're already in that process, we want to take it to the next level. And the office that's responsible for doing that for InPDUM is the Office of Membership and Recruitment. And so I really want to commend all the comrades in this office, in this Sunday rally, We had Kabula, who's out in Chicago. And I want to give a revolutionary salute to Kabula. You know, Kabula is a real powerful comrade. In Chicago, we have really, really, really powerful comrades out there who have been doing amazing works for years and years and years. And, you know, it's time to get organized in Chicago. It's time to bring, you know, all of the masses, you know, all of the African masses into revolutionary organization. And InPDUM is the vehicle that's going to be able to do that. InPDUM's going to be able to bring those forces, and it's going to be through organization, through revolutionary organization. So, you know, I wanted to talk. First thing I wanted to talk about with that is the outreach that's going on. I'm not sure if y'all are tuned in to the People's War, the outreach that we're doing with Black Ankh. You know, Black Ankh is a project of the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project, and the People's War is coming out of the Black Power Blueprint. But these are all institutions and entities, you know, under the leadership of the African People's Socialists and in the hands of the African working class. You know what I'm saying? The People's War has really waged a war on this colonial virus, and we've identified it as a colonial virus because we understand that it's colonialism that's the virus. You know what I'm saying? We understand that colonialism is what is keeping Africans trapped. You know, you see this virus, you know, hit the white community, but then at a certain point, they have the capacity to get ventilators. They have the capacity to get 2 million face masks, you know, tons of sanitizer, gloves, and even build hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Like literally they have the capacity to build hospitals. So the African working class we don't have the capacity to do that. But what we do have is the African People's Socialist Party. What we do have is the All African People Development and Empowerment Project. What we do have is the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement. We do have these entities. We do have these different bodies that have the capacity to lead us. And that's what the party's been doing, is leading us. That's what the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project has been doing, is leading the African nation, whether it's in occupied Azania, South Africa, or whether it's in Chicago, or whether it's in the Bahamas. We have the Black Ankh, who has led the whole Uhuru movement in this process of putting up dynamic posters all over the community, in this process of teaching people how to boost our immune systems. You know, how important it is for us to have vitamin D, how important it is for us to have elderberries, for us to, you know, can, you know, as much as possible, the processed foods, and eat as natural as possible. You know, the Black Ankh has taught us that right now that we got to stay in the house. We got to stay in the house. We can't follow, you know, these pseudoscientists, and we can't follow all these, you know, people talking about 5G technology, and, you know, like, what can we do about 5G? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to go and burn down no towers. You know what I'm saying? Burning down 5G towers ain't gonna get us free, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But us being organized, us being disciplined, and actually fighting to build organization in all the cities that we're at, fighting to build InPDUM everywhere we're at. Now that gives us a chance to advance the will of the African nation everywhere we are. That gives us a chance to go to different areas and build the Black Ankh. And I wanted to commend the comrades here in San Diego. I really wanted to commend the comrades from San Diego for, you know, really taking on outreach in a very serious way. You know, we have the comrade Jean Vilsaint. Some of the comrades seen him at the conventions. You know what I'm saying? A real humble brother from Haiti who's right here in San Diego. We got the comrade Renz, who just joined InPDUM last week. You know, a real powerful brother out here. You know, a cultural performer, you know, who's really fighting to bring organization of culture in the movement. We got our comrade Deandra, a real young sister out here in San Diego, another young brother Denzel. And I wanted to say all their names because, you know, and our brother Kawante, who's a member of the African People's Socialist Party. you know, and all of, you know, so that we have people on the ground out here doing outreach, and it's so amazing because these comrades are ready to take on outreach. You know, we were able to get together last night and put up 50 posters around the city. You know, we started doing outreach in late March, early April. So it's been really, really dynamic. And what's been happening because of this outreach, we've been seeing more people come into InPDUM. You know, in the last, I want to say in the month of May, you know, San Diego has had at least 5 members join, but as a whole, InPDUM has had close to 30 people join. Close to 30 people have joined InPDUM in the month of May, and we're only at the 17th. You know what I'm saying? People are pouring into organization, and it's not going to stop. You know, and I wanted to let you guys know that you guys can submit questions, and we are going to have questions at the end. So also what I wanted to talk about is the process of branch building. You know, branch building is a science. It's a science, and it's a science that has been put forth by the party, and it works, it works, it works, it works, it works, it works. Because think about it like this. Think about it like this. So, and just rock with me, right? So, I used to work at Subway, right? Subway. That's kind of like one of those things, you know, I got my little thing. I was a sandwich specialist. That's what they call a sandwich specialist. So I used to get my special sandwiches on, you know what I'm saying? With the, you know what I mean? 6 pickles, 4, no, I ain't gonna do y'all like that. But anyway, one of the things about Subway is that no matter where you go, Subway got the same products. You know, you gotta order their bread, you gotta order their sandwich wrappers, you gotta order their uniforms. When you get a building, you gotta put the Subway moniker on. So everybody, when you see Subway, you know Subway. And you know they sell sandwiches. And you could get a bowl, you get a wrap, you know what I'm saying? They got all that kind of stuff. But you know Subway, right? Now, think about that in terms of revolutionary organization. Listen, now, have you ever been to a Subway that doesn't have a staff? Never. In order to open that Subway, they got to start management, right? They got to get somebody who's going to lead that Subway. They got to get employees who are going to follow those managers, right? You got to get people who are going to say, all right, I'm going to take, and they do it for colonialism. They're doing it for money. I was doing it for money when I was with Subway, but that's what it is. You say, all right, you're going to pay me and I'm going to listen to you. I'll follow you. Cool. You know what I'm saying? And so people don't come to Subway wearing whatever they want. They come to Subway and they put on a uniform, right? You get what I'm saying? And this is the class. This is the class that we do this. We go to Subway, we get a paycheck, we're cool. So think about this in organization and branch building, right? To build a branch of InPDUM, first you got to get the members. And that starts with recruitment. That starts with tabling. That starts with going door to door. That starts with putting out posters. You know, that starts with being dynamic forces on social media and carrying the line on social media. It's one thing to be on social media and talk about cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know about cool stuff. You know, I could talk to you about music. I could talk to you about poetry, art, dancing. You know what I'm saying? I could talk to you about the moon, the stars, the quasars, all that stuff. But the moon, the stars, and the quasars ain't gonna build Africa. So, you know, I've had a rough road on social media. And there's been times where I've been blocked off of my Facebook accounts for literally like 2 years at a time. No kidding. Literally 2 years at a time. I'll be blocked for 3 months. I'll come back on and say some extremely undisciplined things. And then I'll get blocked for another 3 months, right? That's if any of y'all know me, y'all know that Mwambi can say some undisciplined things on social media. But the goal isn't to be undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? The goal isn't to, I see you, Chiwaniso. Yeah, Chiwaniso, and I'm gonna just say that Chiwaniso used to be one of the comrades who used to have to hit Mwambi up and say, Mwambi, what are you doing? And so that I'd have to get together, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a little meeting with Mwambi and, you know, so putting a line out on social media is something different. And that's what leads to recruitment. You know what I'm saying? That's what leads to recruitment, because when people know you, you know what I'm saying? People have seen you. They know that you're just another cat just like them, or another brother or sister or whatever, but they see that you have the capacity to organize, or to learn how to organize, to learn how to follow leadership. Then it makes them think, how can I be a part of that? How can I be a part of organization? So that's where recruitment comes in at. You know what I'm saying? And I want to commend St. Louis. I want to commend Philadelphia, Oakland, St. Petersburg, Florida, New York. You know, these are cities that constantly, and 100%, I want to commend our comrades in occupied Azania in South Africa. You know, and comrades in San Diego here. Because this is where outreach, I see outreach happening all the time. You know about in Everton, those comrades in Everton in South Africa, occupied Azania, are building InPDUM, and you know it because you keep seeing comrades from Everton, you know, doing different work, you know, on the ground, through pictures, through social media, in meetings. We're constantly seeing the comrades from South Africa, and they keep growing because they're building branches. You know, they're building organization. You know what I'm saying? And so that is so important, y'all. You know, and I wanted to say that also because when we build these branches, you know, we have to have roles and we have to have responsibilities. And comrades, you know, when we join, we want to be put to work, you know, but we don't want to work for colonialism. We want to work for the African nation. You know, we want to work for the revolution. So, you know, when we build these branches, you know, our comrades have to have roles and responsibilities so that we can, you know, because everything we do for the African nation, you know, within the Uhuru movement, you know, translates to an advancement in the revolution, and it brings us more and more power. It brings us more and more power. It gives us members that can be a part of APDEP, members that can be a part of APDEP, what I was talking about with Black Ankh, the members of the All-African or the African National Women's Organization, members of the African People's Socialist Party, members of the Black Power Blueprint, all these entities, and they can come through InPDUM. You know, they can come through InPDUM, and it's important, you know, that we understand that. So, you know, as we go out and do outreach right now with COVID-19, you know, it's important that we understand that the outreach that we're doing around COVID-19 with Black Ankh, right now, people are getting lackadaisical about this colonial virus. People are kind of chilling out, but now it's time for us to go hard. Now it's time for us to move. Now it's time for us to, you know, get our second wind, get our second breath, you know what I'm saying? And really move and get out there in the streets and put these posters up. Right now, we're really focused on putting posters up. And right now, you know, all over the African world, you know, we need to make sure that African people know that we're not out of the forest. You know, maybe some places in white power, some white communities, maybe they're not getting cases, but Africans are. Africans are still dying. So it's important for us to understand how, you know, to do this outreach. And you know, after this colonial virus, after the coronavirus, there's still going to be work to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have to get out there and go door to door and get out there and do tabling, get out there on the corners with bullhorns. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's why the propaganda is so important. And I want to commend our International Office of Information and Education for putting out such dynamic propaganda. You know, our info and ed forces, Dexter, comrade, you a star, you're large, comrade, you're large. You know, our comrade Dexter works so hard out of Boston. You know what I'm saying? Our comrades out of New York, Feist. You know, our comrade out of St. Pete, Iquan. Our comrade out of San Diego, Tiana. You know what I'm saying? Just comrades working hard. Our comrades out of New York, Osset. You know, and I want to shout out our members because, you know, so many people are involved in the process of making this movement work. So many people are involved. And, you know, that's what membership is about, is, you know, helping people understand that there's a large group of people. Hey, Uhuru Jihad, Uhuru Jihad. I just seen you log on. Uhuru Zell, I see you. I see you. I just want to shout out some people. Zenobia, Uhuru Wentz, Uhuru Kwame out in Ghana. Comrade, it's great organizing with you. Kundai out in Huntsville, Alabama. Chiwaniso, as I said, she out in Houston. Jackson, Uhuru, Comrade, Matum, Renee, all of y'all, man. It's so amazing, you know, all the different, you know, forces, all the different forces that are part of this work. And, you know, we want y'all to get involved in this work either. Also, if you are a member of any of the other organizations within the movement, and, you know, you need to renew your membership, y'all. This is about renewing our memberships too. So I want to put that out there as well. And the last thing I want to talk about is just some goals real quick. And I don't want to, this part ain't going to take too long, but I'm excited about this part. And the reason is because, you know, organizing is a science, right? And bringing people into the work is a science. And so what we do is we look around. Right now, since the 7th Congress, October 2018, we've been organizing in regions all over, you know, all over the United States. We got different regions. Chairman O'Malley was talking about this earlier today in the O'Malley Taught Me. And so at first, you know, different regions were here, but then we reorganized the regions. And now we're really fighting to build all the regions. So we have the Northwest region, we got the Southern region, we got the Midwest, and we got the Western region, right? You know what I'm saying? I know Chiwaniso's big enough, everybody's shouting out their regions. You know, we from the West Coast, so we the smallest region, but we still represent, you know what I'm saying? We small, but we move big, you feel me? Small acts. So, you know, all the regions are dope. All the regions have amazing dynamic forces, and we got to build in all the regions. So no matter where you are in the US, no matter where you are on the continent of Africa, we have comrades that you can get in contact with. We have comrades that you can contact, and we can organize. All it takes is one. Remember that, y'all. All it takes is one person. If you're one person in an area, you can build the Uhuru movement. You know, we have an example of a solidarity force in Seattle. Ann Hirsch went to Seattle to built a solidarity movement, solidarity forces. We're able to, you know, African people started seeing solidarity work. We brought the African leadership out to Seattle, started recruiting Africans in Seattle. And now we have 2 members of InPDUM. We have 1 member on the International Executive Committee, Marissa Martinez and Demetrius Cooper. So I wanted to shout y'all out because that's the science, that's the work. And, you know, the same thing in San Diego. And back in October, there's only 1 member of InPDUM in October 2018. Now in San Diego, there's 28 members of InPDUM. There's a African Charged Genocide Working Group where we actually have 6 members of InPDUM that are in Tijuana, Mexico. We have 4 members that are in the African People's Socialist Party, you know, and that's all from October 2018. You know what I'm saying? And that can happen everywhere, and that is gonna happen everywhere. So I want to talk about a few cities. I want to talk about San Diego. I want to talk about St. Pete. I want to talk about St. Louis, and I want to talk about New York. All right. And if you're from those cities, or if you're in any of those areas, these are the cities that right now have the capacity, have the membership that are already branches, or y'all need to be branches because y'all have everything that it takes to be a branch, right? And we need to get offices in these cities. We need offices in San Diego. We need offices in New York. We need office in St. Louis. We got an international office in St. Louis, but we need a local office in St. Louis. And we need an InPDUM office in St. Pete. All right, y'all. So also with all of these cities, in terms of bringing people into the organization, you know, all of us got to look at it like this. In the month of May, we all need to have 10 members of InPDUM come into our organization. All of us, 10 members of InPDUM. That's 40 members from 4 cities, right? Then you look at Chicago, you look at Philadelphia, you look at Oakland, you know what I'm saying? You look at these cities, y'all are ready to become branches, right? We got people, we got leaders, and when you become branches, the people are gonna flood into Chicago. Like Kabula was talking about, Chicago is the place where the Black Panther Party was led by Fred Hampton. Chicago was the place where InPDUM had its first convention and was able to bring Fred Hampton's widow into political life as the first president of InPDUM, and was able to bring Fred Hampton Jr., who's into political life, right? We got comrades out there like Zenobia, who've been putting it down for years, you know what I'm saying? Been a part of the work, you know, Kabula, you know what I mean? Y'all are comrades just like Muambi, you know what I mean? We done been part of the work. We was a part of the work before InPDUM went on the offensive. You know, we were a part of the InPDUM when InPDUM was here to stop the counterinsurgency, right? But now InPDUM is on the offensive, and us understanding that makes us shift gears and move with the times. And that's what this process of revolution is about, is that the old is going away and the new is coming. And InPDUM, the African People's Socialist Party, the Uhuru movement, is a representation of what is new, the new system that we're creating, the new system of African internationalism killing the old system of parasitic capitalism. You know what I mean? That's what coronavirus represents, is parasitic capitalism. That's what Bernie Sanders represents. That's what Obama represents. AOC, Acacia, that's what she represents. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, even Julius Malema, you know what I mean? All these different people that they're trying to move, they're trying to progress, but we understand that they're locked into capitalism still, and that we got to knock capitalism off of us, which is a pedestal of capitalism, get them off our back and bring in African internationalism. So, you know, there's cities like Boston, like Newark, Huntsville, Houston, Seattle, Portland, Tucson, where else? You know what I'm saying? All of us have goals and responsibilities to bring people into the work, and we bring it through the regional strategy. We bring this to our regional leadership, bring this to our international InPDUM leadership, because I tell you, following the leadership of the Uhuru movement, following the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, the leadership of InPDUM, that's what's going to get African people free. That's what's going to get us free. And, you know, San Diego's a testament of that. St. Louis, you know, where before the party went out to St. Louis, there was no evidence of the Uhuru movement. Now we have an Uhuru house, set up the One Africa, One Nation marketplace, building a Uhuru Jiko, a 50-foot flagpole flying the red, black, and green. You know what I'm saying? And this year, 2020, the year of perfect vision, is the 100th year of Marcus Garvey's red, black, and green flag. And that's where we're going, to the InPDUM convention. September 12th, September 13th, we're going to have the InPDUM convention. All right? We're going to have the InPDUM convention. And what's dope about this year is that the same way with the Sunday rallies, we can bring everybody in. We could bring everybody into the convention because it's going to be online. It's going to be a webinar. And we want to see 20,000 people on that webinar. We want to see 20,000 people. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because in 1920 in Harlem, when Marcus Garvey instituted the red, black, and green flag, there's estimates of 20,000 people, 25,000 people in Harlem on the ground to commemorate the red, black, and green flag. So we're in 2020, right? We're in 2020, a new day, a new age. Technology, we have a new technology. We have a new way of reaching Africans. We could reach Africans around the world. And we want to bring that same number that was on the ground in Harlem to our webinar, September 12th and September 13th. We want to bring as many people from the African nation into that webinar to understand what is the way forward for the African nation. What is the way forward for the masses, for the 1.5 billion Africans around the world? What is the way forward? And we will let you know the way forward is red, black, and green. The way forward is African socialism internationally. The way forward is painted black. And so we're going to bring 20,000 people onto our webinar. And we're going to get 500 members of InPDUM out of that convention. Uhuru, y'all with me on that? Can we get 500 members of InPDUM? I think we can. I know we can. I know we can. What we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna bring one of our favorite comrades back, or actually onto the program. Our comrade who's over economic development for the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement. Our comrade out of St. Louis, Fofit Alkebulan, and she's gonna go ahead and talk to y'all about raising resources for InPDUM. Uhuru.
Uhuru comrades, I am Fofit Alkebulan from St. Louis, Mo. I am InPDUM's International Coordinator for Economic Development. I want to appreciate my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who is the leader of the African People's Socialist Party, Deputy Chair Ona Dene Yeshitela, who is over the economic work of the party, President Columbai Andinet, who is the international president of International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. We got some amazing leaders, comrade. Now, I want to say I am so happy to be on this program, Uhuru Muambi, for making this happen. Our goal today, comrades, is $200. $200 that can be donated to InPDUM, InPDUM.org/donate. We're dying, comrades, all over the world, especially due to this colonial virus. We are the ones that get it and die. Other people get it and they live through it, but we are the ones that are dying. And why? Because we've been colonialized and we don't have any power. We have no power over anything that we have: our education, our hospitalization, our health, our communities. We don't have power. So as you see, the history of InPDUM has been placed on working with the Africans in their communities, at where we meet African working class, wherever you're located. We are asking for $200 today to continue this work, to educate our people and put power back where it's supposed to be, where we can get our resources, where we can get teach our children what they need to know, where we can hold on to our own resources, because we need to take back what's been stolen from us. Okay, $200, we can take that at InPDUM.org/donate. I know there's somebody out there with $200 that see the need and want to be a part of the African freedom. We would appreciate any amount that you have during this program or even after. Go to InPDUM, InPDUM.org/donate. $50, $100. We're looking for 200 total. And over that will be appreciated also. We will take any donation amount. We'll take $5. We'll take $10, $20. We will take $200 2 or 3 times if you got it. I am going to kick this off, with a donation of $25 to the Sunday rally on 5/17. And if you put that in your donation, where you go put the comment, put for 5/17 Sunday rally. Okay, that way the money will go exactly to where it was meant to go. Whatever program inspired you to donate, that inspired you to be a part of this movement, because we have a place for everybody. And with that being said, InPDUM, we will bring back the total, but I want to pass this on now to my comrade Muambi, who is the chair of membership and outreach. Uhuru Muambi.
Uhuru. I want to just thank you, Fofi. I want to thank Fofi for just, being a powerful economic development coordinator. I'm just, the International Executive Committee that we have right now is dope. It's a very, very, very dope committee. We're led, by the mighty, powerful Columbai and Annette. Such a powerful comrade, you know what I'm saying? And just down to earth, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, really helps the African working class understand that we can do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our goal is in InPDUM, is to let everybody know that we can do this. We can get our freedom. I'm not talking about, as Kofi was saying, passing it on to our kids. Our goal is to prepare the world so that our kids can fight. No, our goal is to stop it. Stop imperialism, stop colonialism, stop capitalism, and stop it now. Stop it in our lifetime, that we leverage this crisis against them. You know what I'm saying? That we use, because that's the reason why they're in crisis, is because of the resistance that's going on around the world. And that's why we keep telling people that we are winning, we are winning, we are winning. When we isolate ourselves from the struggle and think about in our own head, in our own box, in our own little area, then yeah, it feels like we're losing. It feels bad. But when we really understand what we're going through, we're winning. So what we're going to do right now is give everybody a chance to be a part of this organization. We want to give everybody a chance to be a part of the winning team, and it doesn't matter if, this is the first time you heard this in your life. It don't matter if, this is something that's just sparked your interest. You're like, yeah, that sounds so dope. I don't know what to do, but I want to join. You know what I'm saying? Or if you've been a card carrying member for a long time, you know what I'm saying, and your membership lapsed or whatever it is, this is your time to join. Now, we'll send you a card. We'll send you a membership packet, some gifts, but we want you to join as a Malcolm X level member today. And our goal is for 10 people to join as Malcolm X members. Now, what a Malcolm X member means is you pay $21 per month. And as I said, you'll receive your card, you'll receive a membership packet, and you'll receive a special gift. Now, this $21 goes directly to InPDUM. It's not something that's going to go to all these different entities, and it's going to go directly to build the movement, because we're not a government entity, and we're not an organization that, is built off of corporations, but we're built off of the blood, sweat, and tears of hardworking Africans. So if you are down to join the ranks of InPDUM, if you're down to take responsibility for your community and follow the leadership of Chairman Omali, follow the leadership of African revolutionaries who have been fighting in this struggle for over 50 years, or if not have been fighting for 50 years, have been fighting for Africans under the leadership of those fighting for 50 years, join InPDUM right now. Just say in the comments, just say, I want to become a Malcolm X member. We'll go ahead and say it. After this, we're going to open it up for question and answers. We have questions, but just go ahead and put it in the comments. I want to become a member today. I want to become a member. There's other sustainers that you can join, Malcolm X, other InPDUM sustainers. We have ones that are higher. $31 is a Harriet Tubman sustainer. $50 is the Ella Baker sustainer. You could be a Malcolm X member for $1,000. For lifetime member, $1,000, which is $84 a month. You could become for $20. You could become a sustainer, $10 or $5, and even you could become an annual member at $25 a year or $10 a year if you're unemployed or a student. So I wanted to give everybody a chance to become a member, and then we're going to go ahead and do question and answers. And what we're going to do with question and answers, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and bring the comrades back on the panel, and anybody can answer these questions. And I wanted to do it this way because I want to hear answers from, different members of the movement, that are operating in different capacities. Some of us are on the IEC. Some of us are, one or two comrades in our own city. Some of us are in political hubs. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to go ahead and bring the comrades that are still on the chat, and then we could go ahead and answer some questions. Uhuru. Uhuru. Okay, you there, Fofi?
Uhuru, I'm here.
Okay, Uhuru. Okay, so me and Fofeet are gonna go ahead and answer some questions. And if y'all got any questions, put them in the comments. And I was gonna say, if any of the other comrades want to jump back on, feel free. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer a question. And it says, how can I join InPDUM? And how can I build a branch where I am? Okay, so we just talked about joining InPDUM. Basically, no, that's a good question. There's different ways you could join InPDUM. One is you could go to our website. There's a link on our website for join InPDUM, and you could go right on there and join under, it just says join, and you could join as an annual member or a sustainer. Now, another way is if you have somebody in your area, you could talk to them and they could sign you up right there. They could sign you up right there. And we have, what other ways? You could join online. You could join, if you're on Facebook, you could, go to InPDUM, to our Facebook page, and join and send a message to us. You can contact me, the International Membership Coordinator, if I know you, you know what I'm saying? Or if you want to get in contact with me. Shout out to Tommy Oki, an amazing African mother, also the mother of me. Uhuru, mom. Join InPDUM, mom. So, okay, we got Kabula on. And then in terms of building a branch, we have a branch building manual. You know what I'm saying? We got branch building meetings. We have InPDUM orientations where we bring people in once a month, get on the orientation, and, we teach you about what the organization is about, and, let you know what roles and responsibilities you can have internationally and locally. You know what I'm saying? So you become a part of the process, but your first step is joining. And then I wanted to open it up for Fofi and Kabula if y'all want to talk about building branches or joining.
Uhuru, this is Fofi. The one thing I learned about building a branch, all you need is 3 people. You start with 3 people, and that's the 3 people. Right now, I know y'all you take is 3 people. And from there, you invite other people, your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, the ones that live with you and love you most, invite them to be members. Because you'd be surprised at what is deep inside that people really don't express, that they don't know that's a part of them. But becoming a member gives you a safe place to express what you want, what you like, and how you feel. Because until I got into InPDUM, I didn't know I was colonialized. I didn't know what the word was. But when I found out what it was and how it was weighing down on me, as a person, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a daughter, as a wife, when I was a wife, as a friend, this way it changes your life in so many ways you don't even know. So when you become a member, you get educated to who you are and the roots that you really come from. So all it takes is 3 people. Get you 3 people.
Uhuru. Uhuru.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was gonna just say, if anybody can help me get the totals out of the chat room. I'm getting the totals. I'm seeing the totals on Facebook. And so let me get the totals, if there's any totals in the chat, and we could go ahead and talk about the goals we've come close to. And I wanted to, Kabula, did you want to go ahead and talk about branch building? Uhuru.
Uhuru, I just want to say that our pledge 25 for, is there unemployed membership? No, incarcerated membership?
Yes. Uhuru, Kabula. Yeah, we, to sponsor a prisoner is $5. But yeah, go ahead and talk about what it means to sponsor a prisoner.
The membership levels. Fofi, can you take that?
Membership level for our incarcerated brothers and sisters or the George Jackson level, it is $5 a year. With that $5 a year for that, and remember, they will receive InPDUM letters, they'll receive their card, they'll receive all of the educational things that they can share with while they're there, and they can become educated, because to become a to get the burning spear is a process that I think we need to look a little further in. But once we get that process, we enjoy letters. We get letters from our incarcerated brothers and sisters, and we send them letters. So yes, bring your relatives, your friends, your acquaintance that's in prison behind bars, which is, we all are in prison, but some of us are not behind bars. That's the only difference, because we're all still slaves. But it's $5 to sponsor a prisoner, and this is where we can educate them and show them political life where they are, so when they get out, they can become even more engrossed in the freedom of African people. All right. I'm still on economic development. So donate, people, donate. I've got to put my all right.
Oh, Fofi, there's a question for you.
Okay.
What kind of people are the Office of Economic Development looking for?
What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of people are the Office of Economic Development looking for?
Oh my goodness. We're looking for people with all kinds of skills. We need, I need a secretary. I need somebody to work with resources. When I say resources, I mean dollars and cents. Somebody to help keep records. Somebody to work on Uzi. God, Uzi is getting ready to become an LLC. So that's going to put us in a whole different level. We are going to be on Facebook. I mean, we're going to have an online store running. We need shippers, people to do shipping and handling. We need designers. We need, oh my God, I'm just so excited. Okay, we need people that write for our online store. We need photographers. We need models, people. We need models. Yes, if you like to be in the fashion, look good and on the dime, then hey, Uzi is looking for you. But the Economic Development Department, they are one and the same, but they're a little separate. We need people that write grants. We need people that do web posting. If you I said that, I'm just excited. Okay, I need somebody over to help me with counting the money. If you like money, then we can do that. We need bookkeeping. We need people to take orders online and send out products, shipping and handling, packaging, inventory. We need inventory. People to inventory Uzi. Right now we're all one, but we're separate. I am so excited. Contact me in info at InPDUM.org, and I will definitely get with you, because thank you so much.
Uhuru.
The person that asked that question, I would like for them to hit me up at info at InPDUM.org, and I will get with you personally. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you so much, Fofi. Okay, another question is, are there members on the West Coast? What part of me being from California did you not understand? So yes, we got members out here on the West Coast. Yes, you know, Cali is in the house. In San Diego, we have 28 members. We have a member in Los Angeles. Shout out to Marquise. Big respect, comrade. We have members in the Bay Area. We have, I want to say, we got Latrell out there. In Oakland, we got Jabari out there holding it down in the town. We got up in Seattle, we got our comrade Demetrius, who's, you know, Demetrius, just such a joy to be around. I appreciate you so much, Demetrius. Yeah, we've gone to conventions and all types of stuff together. So, you know, I just, you know, when I start thinking about all these comrades, it just makes me, you know, because that's what's dope about the movement is that we're comrades and we're in this, we're fighting. The only reason why we together is because we're fighting for African liberation. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why we're linked up. So, you know, in the process, you know, we appreciate each other and we have a good time. But the main thing is that, can you put the questions, can you send it to me? Cause I can't read it through the, Zoom chat. So if you could send it to me through Messenger. So, yeah, so we got comrades all over the place. We got comrades in different cities all over the place. So, you know, we're out here in the West Coast. We're out here in the West Coast. But then, yeah, there's other cities. I could keep thinking, but yeah, we have comrades just scattered throughout the West Coast and the Western region. And, you know, and it's cool because that's what the whole point of the regional strategy is for all of us from our different areas in the region to keep coming together and organize our leadership so that we could operate as, you know, as units in the region. And then as all the different regions work together, we operate as national organizations. Like I was saying, in Occupied Azania, we got our comrade Zakili, President Zakili, you know, and he's doing an amazing job out there as president of InPDUM in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? I can't commend South Africa enough for all the work that they're, you know, coming into, you know, hosting the quarantine and chills. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, just powerful comrades. So, you know, I just really wanted to, you know, commend those comrades and just say, you know, we have you know, we're doing a lot of good work around the world. So another question just came in. It says, I live in Europe. Can I still join? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have powerful forces out there in Europe. Our Secretary General Loizy, he operates, you know, Europe, Africa, you know, South America, Central America, you know, the Arab world, you know, the Middle Eastern world. And so you can join, you know, and we are right now, for sure, we're building InPDUM in London, 100%. We got comrades on the ground in London that are building. So, so you can either, if it's from Facebook, you can hit us up on Facebook. If it's, you know, you can hit us up on the website, info@inpdum.org. But you just go on the website and sign up. And when you sign up for a membership, you put your contact information and we'll, you know, and we'll get in contact with you and we'll join, and you could join. Okay, so let's see what our totals are. Okay, it looks like Uhuru. Okay, it looks like we've raised $115 so far. Uhuru.
I'm counting 135 because that 15 doesn't count for my 25.
135? Uhuru.
Yes. We are how many? Is that $70 from our goal?
65.
65. Now I know somebody out there got $25. If we got 3 people that can do $25, then we are at our goal and over. If we got 3 people that can do $20, that puts us $5 under our goal. If we got 4 people that can just do $15 a piece, plus 1 to do 5, we make our goal. Comrades, we can do this. I know we can. It's for the freedom of our people, because when you touch one,
touch all.
Touch one,
touch all.
Uhuru. So we have to be responsible for ourselves and those around us. And $10, $15, or $20 is worth saving a life and creating a freedom, African freedom for all Africans in the world, including those next door and those in your house. Uhuru. We can do this.
All right, y'all. Who got 5 on it? Who got 5 on it? Uhuru. I want to thank Johan Bedingfield out in Florida. I know for sure. I want to say St. Pete for his contribution, and I want to thank Tommy Oki, moms, for her contribution. Thank you so much, moms. Appreciate you. Want to thank President Colin Bailly for her contribution. Uhuru. Uhuru. We want to appreciate. Okay, that's the membership for Tiana's mom coming in today. We want to thank you, Denise, for joining InPDUM. Welcome to the movement, comrade. We want to thank Matum for his donation. Uhuru, Tiana, appreciate your donation, comrade. Okay, so okay, cool. So I want to definitely thank everybody who joined today. I want to thank our comrade out in Maryland, who just joined as a Malcolm X member, Ebony out in Maryland. Uhuru, want to thank Denzel for joining. Denzel out here in San Diego. Uhuru. Okay, so I just wanted to thank everybody. Now, let's see. Anything else come in? Okay. Let's see. Okay, Uhuru. So I want to, if anybody, we still got Kabula, we still got 4 feet on the panel. Unless, did y'all want to answer any of those questions? Did y'all want to add anything to this rally? Y'all good? Uhuru. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of this amazing Sunday rally. And I wanted to do this in a way where, let's see, $35 from 200, $35 from 200. I just got a message. Good job. Good work, everybody. Good work, everybody. We want to thank everybody for donating. We want to thank everybody for being a part of this work. And we're going to go ahead and close this out. Uhuru, everybody. Forward to the African Revolution. Forward to the victory. Uhuru.
Uhuru, we are winning.